Take what part of your business is working, dump the rest, even if you put your heart and soul. I had to dump some products but I took what was working, which was the consulting piece, and I pivoted and I kept that piece because it was working.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
There are some qualified entrepreneurs that they are in your industry, they are standing over same amount of you, they are on the space, they can give you just their opinion, it's not the advice, and it's something that might help entrepreneurs. So I want your take on this. I know that you said don't listen to anybody, yes, and if you listen to everybody in my company, they always say, Harry, don't listen, Harry, don't listen, Harry, don't listen. No, Harry listen everyone. I listen to everybody, but my decision-making process is very sensitive to how qualified the person that gives me the advice. But they say, well, you don't listen. So tell us a little bit more about this.
You are listening, but you're taking 100 different people and you're trusting your intuition.
Exactly. That's the other thing. 100 people tell you stuff.
You're kind of dumbing it down, if you will, into something that you can use. The reason I say, you really shouldn't listen to anybody, especially here in the United States. Many companies are entrepreneurs how to start a business, but it's a 1950s, 60 paradigm. So it's the business plan. Got to have the business plan. Okay. Why? Now, don't get me wrong. I wrote a whole book on this, and I agree that you need a business plan. But my reason and your reasons are two different reasons. You need the business plan on a yellow piece of paper and just write down the questions and handwrite the answers. Because at the end of the day, who's going to see it? You make it all
you have a
pretty. You have it there.
There are VCs
telling me. Who's going to see it? The banker? Okay. Your father? Yeah. Okay. So why make it pretty? It's a waste of time. And people are going to be giving you advice, as Harry said, and you're going to get advice from family. You're going to get advice from friends. And I had my cousin's first, wife on his father's side, that kind of thing.
So
you take all the advice you're given and pay attention to your body when you're hearing the advice. Is your body pushing back? Are you all of a sudden feeling uncomfortable? Are you getting hot or are you getting cold? Is part of your body just kind of get something stuck in your throat? Or is it just, you're just looking at them and saying, I don't know why, but this is wrong.
I was invited to speak.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I was invited to speak, I think like a year ago, in Status Founders, okay? And the speaker before me, he was a very well-known speaker, and he was doing a conference about critical thinking. And the guys go there, right? And he started to tell the entrepreneurs, well, when you start in a business, you need to take this. Before you take a decision, you have to analyze these, the pros, the cons. Then you have to analyze these, you have to analyze these, you have to do this, you have to do this and this. And then you take the decision. I'm listening. I'm saying, look, in this startup
scare half the audience away with that.
They start to do things they will never build a business on their life. Of course, if you're in a corporate America and you're running a huge multinational and you have to take this big decision, of course you need to do this critical thinking, how he described it. But you need to make sure who's in the room, because you get everybody confused. And I'm listening this, and I'm saying, wow. This is, if those guys, they will never be able to build a business if they use this conference with the critical thinking, because when you start in the business, it's exactly what you say, Katharine. Okay, business plan. You know what? My friends of mine always tell me, Harry, your best quality is the speed of implementation. I move fast, so very quickly I know what is not working, and very quickly I can fix it. And I build the plan on the go. I don't have too many fans on the aspect, because a lot of my business partner, she's a planner and she always wants to plan everything. But
I like you. I'm the same way. I like you.
at the end of the day, that plan, then you got the VCs, they've been in this podcast, and they say, Harry, I never find a company that I invested on that the business plan match what they happen. So the plan, okay, I can give you a guideline, can give you an idea. Don't get me wrong. If your plan can give you a little bit of a structure, but
handwriting with a pen. You don't have to make it. Just answer the questions. You can answer in one-word answers, but how many?
And we go deep in your first step, which I actually love it as well. Okay, because you said build the business while you have a job. This is how I built my business. I was a room service in the Hilton, yes. And then I have in Canary Wharf in London, and at the same time I was building my property business. So, Katharine, what we always discuss in this podcast is being an entrepreneur is skill-based. The more you practice, the better you become. It's like driving or swimming. So, can you expand a little bit more like this? Because then we have then a lot of people listening, or even people that we have interviewed in the podcast out of the 500 million. What happened? No, Harry, I work in corporate all my life, but you know what happened? COVID came, and they fired me, and then I started my business. We have these, eventually they make it work, but they go into a transition, which is quite difficult, Katharine, because, when you have your corporate job, somebody comes and tell you, do this, and you say, I'm sorry, this is not my job. That have nothing to do when you're an entrepreneur. When you're an entrepreneur, everything is your job. And then the people in corporate, they say, oh, I wish to be an entrepreneur because I can fill my own calendar, and I can travel the world, and I can do everything. Yeah, you can do that after you have product market fit, after you sell your first million. After you do that, you can achieve all this. But let me tell you something, the first 2 years or the first 1 year, until you get from 0 to 1, this is going to be an experience. It's going to be an intense experience, bumpy, and Monday to Sunday. There is no such a thing as day off, as far as I remember. So, Katharine, can you expand a little bit more in the don't quit your job while you build the business? Because I might listen to it and say, well, I don't know what you're saying this. Can you say a little bit more so people understand that they need time to develop certain skills? And I get it that you say, Harry, somebody did it with 2 months. Okay, you have enough contact and you incorporate, and maybe you have develop some skills. Well, you can do it quickly, but how about the rest?
Of us, for the in the back, so to speak, sometimes it takes us longer. And what everybody seems to think is when you're an entrepreneur, everything's going to be great. I'm working at home. Everything's going to flow like a company. You're not in a company anymore. You're in a home office. You're not working from 9 to 5 and going to pick up the kids. You're working from 7 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. And you can work really, really hard, still not make any money and not get any traction. So at some point, you need to go to the grocery store and you need to feed yourself. So my advice to everybody who starts a business is business that you want to start, not something your friends think you should start, not something because you just came out of corporate. Start something that lights you up. Because when you're selling your business, your emotions, your attitude is what's going to sell the product. So you have to really believe in it. And you have to eat. So get a part-time job. Make sure that there are other revenue streams. A successful $1 million company.
Check if you like it, because sometimes you see, you might not like it, what you're getting into. You may not say, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to fill my own calendar. I want to whatever. Well, keep your job and start to develop the skill to be an entrepreneur. Create a product in the weekends. Try to see if you like to work weekends. Okay. Then start to sell it. See if you're comfortable selling.
Right.
Make some money.
Listen,
and you know what I mean,
Katharine? Meeting and event planner. I started out as a meeting and event planner company.
Oh, wow, you're a planner.
Planning company in 1998.
You are even a planner.
Yeah, I got so many topics, just pick one. But I started in 1998 as an event and meeting planner. And then within a couple years, we moved down to North Carolina from New Jersey. And my husband read an article in Entrepreneur magazine about this very young company called the Independent Concierge Company. So we weren't making that much money in our first company, so we pivoted. You want to make $1 million? Learn the art of the pivot. So we changed our company name and we pivoted and we started the concierge business. And then along the way, somebody said, well, how do I start? How much do I charge? What do I do? So I started giving advice. Okay, we pivoted again and we turned our business a consulting firm, and I pounded out 2 or 3 books about the industry. And then a few years after that, I pivoted again because there was no association. There was no place for people to go. So to be a successful entrepreneur is to learn the art of the pivot and don't beat yourself up. Because my first company was my most successful business venture ever, and I only made $50. And the reason it was the most successful company is that's where I cut my teeth. I learned what not to do, man. And that is possibly one of the critical things. But the other thing is don't give up. Pivot. Try again. Hit the market again in a different way, with a different logo, with a different title.
Let's expand in this one, Katharine, because everybody you see out there is saying, don't give up, don't give up. Let me ask you something. How many times have you seen a flight go through the glass window? So everybody forget the second part that you said, okay, which is pivot, change the approach. So you listen, everybody out there, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up in business. Well, if
don't
you
beat
just
a dead horse.
If you just don't give up, but you continue doing the same thing and you don't pivot, you're gonna be like a fly going against a glass window.
Take what part of your business is working. Dump the rest, even if you put your heart and soul. I had to dump some products but I took what was working, which was the consulting piece, and I pivoted and I kept that piece because it was working.
Yeah, even better.
When people say don't give up, you have to take stock. You have to really look at what you're doing and say, okay, this is working, this isn't working, doing that. So
follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.